Listen up. This is a PSA. If you have Season 3 ranked rewards sitting with your seasonal quartermaster, you need to pick them up before Season 4 begins, otherwise they will go away. So there's a lot of playable content in patch 6.3, but I'm going to go ahead and skip over to the battle system stuff for PvE and PvP related content just to stay on brand. So it says here that miscellaneous adjustments to actions, traits, and status effects, descriptions have been made. No changes have been made to their effects. This just means that there's a lot of clarifying information that's been added to certain mechanics. It shouldn't really change the effects of the mechanics, is what they're saying, but it makes it easier to solve some. Icons indicating physical, magic, and unique damage will now be displayed in the battle log. Vacuum Wave doing physical damage, Fire 3 doing magic damage, Black Hole doing unique damage. This is interesting to me because unique damage I kind of refer to as just true damage, where only the flat damage reduction will really help you here. But if you're a long-term user of FF logs, this is going to be a game changer for you because you're no longer having to go and create a log and reading through the log to see if you were dealt magical or physical damage. And before, the only way that you could tell is if you were blocking or parrying physical damage. There was no way to tell if something was like, magic damage or unique damage, right? So this is really, really helpful and a step in the right direction for adding clarity to the game. This is going to be viewable in the battle log. I don't know if they mean that the icons are going to be viewable, but I hope that it is because that would be the whole point, right? Time remaining for enhancing and enfeebling effects will now be displayed on the party list. So this is a really good change as well. If you were doing a mechanic such as Cachexia in P6S, you were oftentimes, not able to see the timer for other characters, other people in your party. And that made solving the mechanic on the fly much more difficult. And that's where Statics came in with like a ninth man who had multiple streamer views come in and be like, all right, hey, this person had 4 seconds, 8 seconds, 12 seconds, 16 seconds. And I believe it's 8, 12, whatever. The point is, it says that this option can be enabled or disabled via Party List tab under UI settings in the character configuration menu and is also applicable to PvP areas. Wait, so that's actually really good. The first use case I think of is Dark Knight with their ultimate, right? You want to make sure that you're able to see how long they're invuln for. That lets you, stop yourself from using a crucial cooldown, or it might tell you to add on more status effects to that target. That also, that opens up a lot more clarity in the game. So I think it's a very, very solid step in the right direction. Please be advised that enabling this setting may place more stress on your system. If you experience any hindrance to gameplay, well, that'd be surprising, please consider disabling this option. Text color for the recast timer in the middle of action icons when enlarged has been adjusted for certain actions. So I think what this means is that if you have a 2-minute buff coming in, it'll change the numbers coloration from like blue to red or something like that, just to give you a better idea of when to, pop it off cooldown. I think it's a welcome change, albeit a little bit unnecessary, but it does remind me of the plugin that allows you to like increase the font size so that it takes up the entire icon. I'm gonna go ahead and skip through the PvE stuff and just get into the juicy Crystalline conflict content here. New arena, Clockwork Castletown, has been added. So looking at this, it's very exciting. I see a bunch of lamps here going along the sides. Here's the red base with this mask here, and I'm not really sure what's going on with this guy's head. Like, don't know what these are. There's a couple of ramparts here. It looks like there's some guy over here cheering us on. Maybe a Namazu in there. It looks like somebody built Shirogane in a warehouse. Like, looking at these lights makes me think that. Looks pretty cool, though. I love all the rooftops here and little maze that they've got going on. It looks really, really pretty, so I'm excited to play this. So the arena events that they have are trick floors, and standing upon trick floor for too long will trigger a tatami twist. I really like that. Tatami twist. Tatami twist. launching the unwitting loiterer into the air and inflicting damage. Okay, so my guess is that these do the same amount of damage as any of the other environment hazards in the other map, so about 30,000 damage. This reminds me of E9S, where you're able to stand on tiles and like the color change will indicate to you that you have like 5 more seconds before, it flips, or like in Eden's case, you just fall to your death. So it looks like a pretty fun mechanic. I wonder if you can just like drag a bunch of people or lock them down onto a tatami and then get them all to flip. If they can guard that, that'd be a pretty okay strategy. And if they can't guard it, that sounds pretty broken, but sounds like fun. Tatami twist. Trick doors. Players who approach these false gates will find themselves teleported instantly to another door, far away from their expected trajectory. Oh dear. Trick doors only operate in one direction, so attempting to return the way you came will prove fruitless. So this makes me wonder, like, can you only send one person through these doors? Because like basic combat tactics tell you like, all right, if you have one guy coming from the side, just kill him rather than the 4 other people. It's a much easier thing to win, and then you whittle down the enemy team. So I'm hoping this allows you to take multiple people into the same route. Far away from your expected trajectory makes me think that some of these doors are completely random. I hope not, because that reduces their usefulness by so much. If you need to get from like one portion of the map and you get teleported to another side, that's not helpful at all. You could very well end up losing that fight because you just weren't able to get there in time. Really hoping that this proves to be a useful thing, and you don't have like, entire teams just showing up on opposite sides of the map and opposite of where they started, because that's also really funny, but not helpful. Now, the pneumatic parade. Commencing after the match is well underway, the pneumatic parade triggers the appearance of certain events and NPCs. So I'm seeing like this picture here. Looks like Yojimbo. I see Clockwork Yojimbo here, slicing the area. Looks like a pretty large AoE. The Clockwork Yojimbo travels a predetermined path through the arena and unleashes strong physical attacks upon arriving in the vicinity of the center point, checkpoints, and goals. So he goes along the path. At certain points, he's gonna slice. Hopefully, it's like the same damage, like 30k or something like that, and you can just guard through it. I'm hoping he only slashes once or twice, but the whole point is to get people to get off the points. This is kind of cool. Clockwork Omyoji travels a predetermined path through the arena and debilitates players with its gaze upon arriving in the vicinity of the center point, checkpoints, and goals. Players who meet its gaze will be greatly shrunk in size, deal less damage, move slower, and take greater damage. So it says meet its gaze. So does that mean that there's going to be either an AoE is my first thought, and the second one is like a look away mechanic? This could be really cool actually, because like look away mechanics in PvP can be a little bit difficult to kind of set up. Like for instance, if you bind people, they can still kind of look away, but they can't move per se, right? But if you have, say, Black Mage and it like freezes your character, you can't turn either. Same thing for stunning. So you might be able to freeze some people into like looking into the Onmyoji here. And that sounds like a pretty fun strategy. And this sounds incredibly debilitating. Greatly shrunk in size, deal less damage, move slower, and take greater damage. Man, like that sounds pretty bad. Piles of gold. Kageyama will appear upon a stage outside the arena and shower combatants with coin. Okay, we like money. Players who get their hands on a pile of gold will have their limit gauge filled. That sounds really strong, actually. I'm hoping that there's like more than 2 piles of gold here. If there's only one, then one team getting an extra limit can be very, very tough to fight. And it would be a little bit too one-sided. But, say there's like 5 or 6. That sounds really chaotic and fun. Although it could be really one-sided. Say, for instance, if you have like a bunch of AoE combos on one side versus another, like that could just end the game right there. But it does allow for a lot of comeback potential where, you can have like a Dragoon get 2 ultis or something like that. White Mage getting double ultis sounds like a pain in the butt. It sounds like a lot of fun. With the addition of the Clockwork Castletown, the following adjustments have been made to the arena rotation for casual/ranked matches. Before, it was the Palestra, Volcanic Heart, and Cloud9. But now it is Palestra, Volcanic Heart, Clockwork Castletown, back to the Palestra, Cloud9 instead of Volcanic Heart, and back to Clockwork Castletown. And then now it repeats that cycle. This changes every 90 minutes Earth time. So that's why if you ever get like knocked out of your registration, that's oftentimes what happens. To facilitate easier acquisition, medicine kits and bomb cores will be obtainable from a greater distance. They're like expanding the circle size of these medicine kits, bomb cores. And that's really good because before you could like server tick all the way through one, and you would either stop there to pick it up, or sometimes if you were grabbing health, it wouldn't pick up and you would just die in the middle of it, and that's really frustrating. Ideally, these will allow you to, have less of those frustrating moments. The only one that I can't see them solving is when you have two players coming across the same resource at around the same time. And it's really, really misleading because what's happened on your screen, what's happening on your screen has already happened. And that means that even if somebody's behind you, they could actually be right on top of you or ahead of you in getting the same resource. And that's really difficult to ascertain through like the client. So I'm hoping there's a good way for them to kind of visualize who gets there first. My guess is that it'll say like, all right, you were in the circle before you were for X amount of time, and therefore give it to that person. But it still could be really frustrating to see because you might be like, oh, dude, my character was in the circle before this guy's was, but the server says no. So one player per job settings will no longer apply to spectators of custom matches. This is a welcome change. I was ready to see them be like, all right, only crafting classes will be spectators. That would have been really silly. The following additions and adjustments have been made to custom matches. A button allowing players to register for a rematch will be added to the match results screen. All combatants must agree to a rematch. No more than 5 consecutive matches can be held in this manner. Hey, this is really awesome, actually. This allows you to do best of 3, best of 5 custom matches without having to like remake the game, and that makes it so that you can do like tournament brackets and things like that. It sounds like a lot of fun. Spectators are not counted when voting to rematch. Yeah, you're locked in here, buddy. That's what you get for spectating. Player tiers will no longer be displayed with portraits or match results. Yeah, I have no idea why they would do this. The only situation I can think of is so that you're not humiliating someone else by being like, ah, yeah, my bronze player outdamaged my crystal player. Like, this makes no sense to me. If you can think of a reason why they do this, let me know in the comments below. Season 4 will end and Season 5 will begin. When the season ends, top 100 ranking players from each data center will receive vouchers via the Moogle delivery service. Normal stuff. Players finishing in the bronze tier or higher can claim rewards by speaking with the seasonal quartermaster at the Wolves Den Pier. Listen up, this is a PSA. If you have Season 3 ranked rewards sitting with your seasonal quartermaster, you need to pick them up before Season 4 begins, otherwise they will go away. If you hit Diamond, Crystal, whatever, you should go and claim those rewards before they get deleted. And I think they're doubling up on this. Tier rewards for Season 4 must be claimed before the end of Season 5. Yay, whoop-de-doo. Same thing. Players will begin Season 5 risers lower than the rank at which they finished Season 4. Rising stars will be reset to 0. Oh, okay, so this is a soft reset. If you started in Crystal, you're starting in Diamond, Diamond, Plat, so on and so forth. And the number of the current season will now be displayed in the following windows. PvP profile, Duty Finder. Okay, great. Like, these are pretty welcome changes overall, and I'm really excited about this new map. Looks like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to, like, haul people across a tatami twist. Tatami twist! But yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. I think there's one last thing that I want to bring my attention back to. Here we go. And it's this armor here. This looks amazing. Like, I already have like a nice like white knight armor suit, white and gold, white and gray. for my Dark Knight and stuff like that. But I've been looking to get something new, and this fits the bill.